The German S-boot is almost always called an E-boat by English-speaking historians. That stands for enemy, which honestly tells you everything about how the Allies chose to label them. But the S in S-boot stood for Schnell, fast. And you know, fast was really an understatement. At 43 knots, the S-boot could outrun every Allied patrol boat built before 1943. More quietly, it used diesel rather than gasoline. British MTBs ran on high-octane petrol. One solid hit to a British boat meant an inferno. German crews had a fighting chance to walk away. By 1944, these 35-meter wooden Vipers had sunk more than 100 merchant vessels and a dozen destroyers. Not bad for a hull originally designed in 1929 as a private venture. The Versailles Treaty forbade Germany from building torpedo boats, so the Reichsmarine simply didn't call them that. They built the hull from mahogany on an aluminum skeleton. Expensive, but non-magnetic and surprisingly tough. The 3 Daimler-Benz diesel engines required constant attention. Oil changes every 100 hours. Valve adjustments every night. Crews lived aboard for weeks. 8 officers and 22 men. No showers. 1 stove. The signature weapon was the G7A torpedo, steam-driven, wakeless, and notoriously temperamental in cold water. An S-boat commander had to estimate enemy speed, course, and range within seconds. No radar until 1942. The real advantage was night. These boats painted themselves dark gray and ran with no lights. British sailors called them the silent ones. They would appear at 800 meters, launch, and vanish into haze. Their primary theater was not the open Atlantic. It was the constricted, dangerous shoals of the English Channel and the North Sea. Command was given to lieutenants and petty officers, young men in their mid-20s, often with no formal Naval Academy training. They navigated by dead reckoning, coastal silhouettes, and lead-line soundings. One wrong turn put you in a minefield. Crash turns at full speed could throw a crewman overboard. No one stopped to pick him up. That was the rule. Tactics evolved fast. In 1940, boats attacked singly. By 1942, flotillas of 6 or 8 coordinated by radio. The worst single engagement for the Allies was the night of March 8, 1943. 9 S-boats torpedoed 3 tankers off Norfolk. 743 merchant sailors died. The gasoline never reached North Africa. German propaganda celebrated. But the flotilla commander wrote privately, "We are slaughtering men, not winning the war." By 1944, the Allies had radar sets that could pick out a mahogany hull at 12 miles. And they had aircraft. An S-boat at full speed cannot outrun a fighter at full throttle. Losses mounted. Of 249 S-boats built, 167 were sunk. Crew survival rate after 1943 fell below 40%. The men who lived often described it as being a submariner on the surface. Same terror, less water. Only one complete S-boot survives today, the S-130, restored and displayed at a museum in the United Kingdom. Post-war, the U.S. Navy studied the S-boot's hull form extensively. The result? The patrol boat Fast, the swift boat of Vietnam. The lesson was simple. A small, cheap, well-crewed vessel could terrorize a much larger navy. For the S-boot crews, the lesson was darker. They fought a defensive battle with offensive tools. They won almost every engagement and still lost the war. That contradiction is worth remembering. Tactical brilliance does not fix strategic weakness. Subscribe to War Machiner and share this if you value history that goes deeper.